And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
This is my video update on this Friday afternoon, September the 26th, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with digital IDs being rolled out by 008 Keir Starmer. If you want to work in the UK, you will be required to have a digital ID. And Keir Starmer claims that he is doing this to stop migration, right? To stop the migrants from coming into the UK. There will be a need for required digital IDs if you want to work in the UK. So you create the problem and you provide the solution. There you have it. 008 Keir Starmer, he has now accomplished the goal that the globalists put him in office to accomplish, which is to get digital IDs rolling. He's gotten the reversal of Brexit. That's well on its way. He's now got the digital IDs going. He kept the UK fully invested in Project Ukraine, taking the lead role in the catastrophe that is Project Ukraine. So it looks like Keir Starmer's job is wrapping up, and the globalists will now look for the next clone or clown to replace Keir Starmer. So yesterday there was this news about a big Pentagon meeting that will be taking place, or has taken place, I'm not sure, in Virginia. And the Department of War, they're calling in 800 top-level senior military officials. All of them are being called to Virginia so that they can have this meeting. And a lot of people are wondering what is going on. Is the United States preparing for war with Russia, with Iran? Something to do with Venezuela? What is happening? Why is Pete Hegseth and the Department of War calling 800 top-level senior military officials to one place? What is happening here? And it looks like what this is really about is some sort of restructuring or reorganization in the Pentagon. That's what it looks like this meeting is about. A lot of talk that the United States is going to be preparing for war, maybe even war with Russia. But the way I look at it is the United States would not be preparing for war with Russia by calling a meeting of every single top-level senior military official in one place, in one auditorium. That just doesn't seem like the way that you go to war, whether it's Russia or Iran or even Venezuela. It just doesn't add up that you have this big meeting so that you can announce some sort of a military war operation. Especially the Trump administration. The Trump administration likes to do things with secrecy and with trickery. They like to do things with trickery and misdirection. So the calling of 800 top-level military officials to meet up in one place does not seem like the way the Trump administration would go about attacking another country. So anyway, that's the big meeting that was announced yesterday that everyone is kind of talking about and speculating as to what is going on. Lavrov, since we're talking about war, Lavrov at the United Nations said that NATO has declared war on Russia through Ukraine. That is what Lavrov said in his statement to the United Nations. Let me pull up Lavrov's exact words. So he was speaking to the UN G20 foreign ministers. It was a G20 foreign ministers meeting. And he noted that the refusal to adhere to the principles of the UN Charter is a manifestation of neo-colonial ambitions, which leads to increased global instability and breeds regional conflicts. A clear example is the crisis in Ukraine, provoked by the collective West, through which NATO and the European Union want to declare, in fact, have already declared a real war on my country and are directly participating in it, Lavrov said at the event taking place on the sidelines of the high-level week of the 80th session of the UN General Assembly. So nothing shocking in Lavrov's statement, to be quite honest. I mean, everyone by now must know that what is happening in Ukraine is a U.S. collective West NATO proxy war against Russia. No surprise there. But it's interesting that Lavrov did not mention the U.S. He mentions NATO. He mentions NATO and the European Union. In a way, it echoes Trump's Truth Social post from a couple of days ago, where he says that NATO and the European Union should go fight this war, and who knows, maybe they will even win it. He says NATO and the European Union can finance Ukraine, and they can provide the military support to Ukraine, and they can go fight this war. The United States, separate from NATO, is the picture that Trump was trying to present in his Truth Social post the other day. And here you have Lavrov actually not mentioning the United States. He is saying NATO and the European Union are active participants in a war against Russia. Want to declare, in fact, have already declared a real war on my country. Those were the words from Lavrov. The Russian ambassador to France was asked about the shooting down of Russian fighter jets and what Russia would do if the European NATO member states decided to shoot down Russian fighter jets. And the ambassador to France said, well, if you shoot down our fighter jets, then that would be an act of war. You would be going to war with us. So that's the answer from the Russian ambassador. You had a couple of days of EU member states, NATO member states at the UN giving all kinds of warnings to Russia. The one that stands out is Thank You USA, Radoslav Sikorski, giving a warning to Russia the next time there's a fighter jet, don't come and we shoot it down. We're going to shoot it down and don't come whining to us. That was his statement. We're going to shoot it down and don't come whining to us, right? Don't come whining, man, says Thank You USA, Radoslav Sikorski. By the way, today is oh my God, I think today is the anniversary of Gilligan and the skipper bombing the Nord Stream pipeline. I think it happened 3 years ago today, if I'm not mistaken. So happy Nord Stream sabotage pipeline bombing anniversary, everybody. How are you guys going to celebrate the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, courtesy of Gilligan, the skipper, Marianne, the Andromeda yacht, Sergei K, and Vladimir Z, who Sikorski wanted to give asylum to? Oh, man. So Ursula was asked about shooting down Russian fighter jets by none other than Christian Amanpour, international correspondent and very sophisticated journalist. And she was speaking to Ursula, and she was egging Ursula on to go to war with Russia. When you listen to the exchange between Amanpour and Ursula, it's obvious, it's crystal clear that Christian Amanpour is egging Ursula on to go to war. She wants war. She is goading Ursula to shoot down the Russian fighter jets and go to war with Russia, or at least dare Russia to react, because Christian Amanpour, international correspondent and very sophisticated journalist, asked Ursula von der Leyen, and she said, Ursula, I am Christian Amanpour with CNN. I'm the international correspondent, and I'm a very sophisticated journalist. And I just wanted to ask you, when Turkey shot down the Russian fighter jet many years ago, Russia didn't really retaliate. So why are you guys not shooting down the Russian fighter jets? Why are you not punching them in the face? That's my question, Miss Ursula. I'm Christian Amanpour, a very sophisticated journalist and a top international correspondent.
Turkey did it 10 years ago.
Yep.
And didn't suffer consequences necessarily.
No, and it's a principle of NATO and Article 5. So
What's taken you so long? I know you're not NATO, but what's taken the world so long? Because Russia has been really testing for such a long time. Is it time now to punch back in the nose?
Russia is testing on all fields. I mean, that's a hybrid war that we experience since many, many years, that Russia is leading against the democracies of the European Union and others. And therefore, we fight back on all the different fields. And as I said, it's a decision of NATO, but I would be very clear, you don't touch our territory.
And you were a former defense minister, I remember, when we first met for Germany.
Yeah, she's daring Ursula to do it. And of course, she understands, and Ursula understands, well, you know, we're the EU, we're not NATO, but still, you were defense minister of Germany, she said. That's what Amanpour said. Yeah, but you were defense minister of Germany at one point in time, the most incompetent defense minister of Germany. But that's a whole different video, Ursula von der Leyen, when she was defense minister of Germany, and instead of providing the German military with guns, she provided the German military with broomsticks. True story. For their military training exercises. And she got promoted to the president of the European Union, right? Because that's how it works. The more incompetent you are, the higher up you go. Ursula said it is a principle of NATO and Article 5. It is a decision of NATO. I would be very clear, you don't touch our territory. Yes, our territory. You don't touch our territory, says the unelected European Commission president. Our territory. Christian Amanpour also interviewed Mark Rutte. Man, a lot of brain power there, huh? Amanpour, Ursula, Rutte, a lot of brain power at display here. And she interviewed Mark Rutte, the CEO of NATO. And man, does Mark Rutte lie? Oh my God, does he lie? I'm telling you. Everyone watching in the Netherlands, you guys are right, man. He is Pinocchio, man. He is freaking Pinocchio. He's just making up stuff. He is making up stories. So he's telling Christian Amanpour in this interview that Modi was calling Putin and complaining about the tariffs that Trump placed on India. And Modi was pressing Putin about some sort of a resolution or some sort of a plan to resolve the conflict in Ukraine, because Modi was panicking at the Trump tariffs. And this was completely made up. Even the Foreign Ministry of India, they issued a statement right away. And in their statement, they said that Rutte is making the whole thing up. The Foreign Ministry of India, Jaishankar, in their statement, they said this entire story completely made up. There was no such phone call between Modi and Putin. Modi never told Putin to figure out Project Ukraine because we're panicking because we have US tariffs. They said the whole freaking statement from the CEO of NATO, Mark Rutte, is complete lies and fiction. That is what the Foreign Ministry of India said. And they actually even went further, and they said that the CEO of NATO should be more responsible in his statements. They said this was a very irresponsible statement from the CEO of NATO, Mark Rutte.
Big ones that
the
are
second
prepared
sanction, the big one on India.
Yes,
Well,
but I'm talking
sanction-
about on Russia.
Yeah, but this immediately impacts Russia, because that means that Delhi is now on the phone with Vladimir Putin in Moscow, and Narendra Modi asking me, hey, I support you, but again, could you explain to me this strategy? Because I have now been hit by these 50% tariffs by the United States. So,
man, the guy, he just makes up stuff. Yesterday, he was talking about how Lavrov he's been foreign minister longer than than Jesus or something like that. He said this before in the past. He likes this. He thinks this is a clever line. He thinks this is really funny when he says that you should not listen to Lavrov because Lavrov, he has been foreign minister longer than Jesus or something like that, or before Jesus. It's like, why are you saying stuff like that, Ute? Why do you make such dumb comments? First of all, why do you have to insult the Russian foreign minister? And second of all, why do you have to insult Christians? Just why? Why? Oh my God. So Trump met with Erdogan yesterday at the White House. And Erdogan, he wants what does he want? He wants the F-35 program. He wants to get that going. I think he wants some stuff with the F-16s. And Trump, he wants Erdogan or the United States wants Erdogan to give up their cooperation with Russia on the S-400s, and they also want Erdogan to stop buying Russian oil. That's a new one. The S-400s is an old story. The F-16, F-35 program, and the S-400s, that's an old story between the United States and Turkey. But now the new ask from the United States is they want Erdogan to stop buying Russian oil, and it looks like it didn't work because a reporter asked Trump whether he was able to convince Erdogan to stop buying Russian oil. And Trump said, if I told him to, he would. But, well, he's not, is he? But if I told him to, he would. But he's not, right? Yeah, so that was Trump's ask of Erdogan. He's asking the same thing of Orban, right? He said, I'm going to tell Orban to stop buying Russian oil. Actually, I believe he told Orban, he called him up and he told Orban, according to Bloomberg, to stop buying Russian oil. And you know what Orban's reply was? Nope. According to Bloomberg, Hungary's Orban refuses to budge on Trump-Russian energy demand. And that is coming from Bloomberg. So, yeah, Orban, he told Trump, sorry, can't do it, man. Can't do it. Trump also said about Erdogan, he said that Erdogan has been trying to take over Syria for 2,000 years. He's been trying to take over Syria, he said, for 2,000 years, and he finally got it done. He finally got it done. He said, that's the guy that took over Syria. And congratulations is pretty much Trump's message to Erdogan. Good job, great. You wanted it. You were the man who managed to take over Syria. You got it done. You've been wanting to get it done for 2,000 years. You did it. And Erdogan was just sitting there like, oh man. Oh my God. Erdogan, man. Oh boy. So yeah. KALLAS, stunning and brave. KALLAS is freaking out, man. She's freaking out. Yeah, over Trump's Truth Social post. She finally got it. Trump was being sarcastic. She finally got it. At first she was thinking, oh man, this is a U-turn from Trump. Now he's going after Russia. Now he's going to support Project Ukraine full. Right? We can win this conflict, according to Trump. Who knows? Maybe we can even go all the way to Moscow, according to Trump. And then someone finally told Stunning and Brave, yeah, I think you better read that post from Trump a little bit more carefully. Just read it a couple of more times and it'll come to you, KALLAS. It'll come to you, right? And it came to her. She realized it was Trump trying to wash his hands of Project Ukraine and basically telling NATO and the European Union, you guys are telling me that you can defeat Russia, well then go ahead and defeat them. Go ahead, I give you my blessing. By the way, Zelensky, he is saying, according to the Telegraph, the UK Telegraph, that Trump told him, or that he requested from Trump, one second, he requested from Trump Tomahawk missiles with a range of 1,600 kilometers so that he can strike Russia. That is what Zelensky asked Trump, according to the Telegraph. Tomahawk missiles. I think that would be a definite red line, 1,600 kilometers. That would definitely be a red line. And I think if that was approved, and who knows, maybe Trump approved it. You never know. You never know with Trump. Like I said, they like to do things with misdirection and trickery, right? They like to do the whole trickery thing, you know. We're washing our hands of Ukraine, not our war, Biden's war, but on the On the back end, here's some Tomahawk missiles, right? You never know with the Trump administration. So yeah, if that was to happen, and Zelensky would fire those Tomahawk missiles, and of course Ukraine would not be able to fire those Tomahawk missiles on their own. It would mean the United States and NATO behind all of it. But if that were to happen, then you would definitely see the Oreshniks. I think no doubt about it if that were to happen. But anyway, that is according to the Telegraph. Let's get back to Kaja Kallas. One of the reasons that Kaja Kallas finally understood Trump's message from the Truth Social Post was because Donald Tusk had to clarify it for the geniuses in the European Union. So one thing that is now crystal clear is that amongst all of the EU leadership, Donald Tusk appears to be the smartest one of the bunch, right? Because everyone else in the EU leadership, the minute Trump posted that, everyone was thinking, oh man, Trump is with us. We're going to win this thing. All right. Finally, we got Trump on side. But it took a post from Donald Tusk to tell everybody, guys, that's not what Trump was saying. So Tusk posted on X, President Trump stated that Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, could reclaim its entire territory. Behind this surprising optimism lies a promise of reduced U.S. involvement and a shift of responsibility for ending the war to Europe. Better truth than illusions. So Kaja Kallas, she is saying that the United States is part of NATO. So you guys can't just walk away. Kaja Kallas said he promised to stop the killings, so it's not our fault. America is the greatest ally in NATO. Therefore, when talking about what NATO should do, it also means what America should do. And the title of this article is Top EU Diplomat Warns Trump that Europe can't shoulder Ukraine war burden alone. Ukraine and its allies are trying to understand Trump's sudden shift on the possible outcome of the war. Trying to understand, he's trying to shift the blame onto the European Union. What is there to understand? You see, Trump understands one thing. He understands that Ukraine is going to lose, and he doesn't want to be blamed for the Ukraine loss. Doesn't mean that the U.S. is pulling out of the conflict, doesn't mean that the U.S. is going to stop funding Ukraine or giving weapons to Ukraine or stop providing intel and intelligence. All these things, the United States is going to continue to do all these things. To a certain degree, they're going to continue to do all these things. The reason they don't give more weapons to Ukraine is because they just don't have the weapons. That's the only reason. They don't have the weapons. If they had the weapons, they would give over the weapons, believe me. But the bottom line is that the collective West is losing. And so what Trump is trying to do is he's trying to say, yeah, you know, they're going to lose, but I wasn't involved in it. I'm not part of the losing team. Actually, Trump may even spin it a bit better than that. He may even spin it in a way where he says, check this out. I can see Trump doing this, where he says, you know, Russia won in the war. But they weren't winning when I was giving javelins. I could see him saying that. The minute I stopped giving javelins, well, then Russia started to win. When I was involved in the conflict, Putin was gaining no territory. He was getting no territory. His economy was a mess. It was a war economy, and it was collapsing. But the minute I decided that I don't want anything more to do with Ukraine, I handed it over to NATO and the European Union. You know, I handed it over to NATO and the European Union because at the end of the day, this is their region. It's not our region. So I handed it over to them. And the minute I handed it over to them, Project Ukraine collapsed. I can see him spinning it like that. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, that's how he's going to spin it. Because during the meeting with Erdogan, Trump said that he's not going to call Russia a paper tiger. He said he's not going to use those words anymore. But he doubled down on Russia's economy is collapsing, it's in tatters, and Russian military is collapsing, and the Russian military is in tatters. And a real military would have completed the operation in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine in 1 week. And this is really embarrassing for Russia and for Putin, but he's not going to use the words paper tiger anymore. He said that. I'm not going to use the words paper tiger.
They have put it all out on the line. Their economy is going to hell. They're bombing the hell out of everything, and they're picking up a very little territory, if any. In fact, they're losing some territory. So I think it's been very bad for the reputation of Russia. This war should have been over. If this were our war, we would have had it over in 1 week.
But Russia's in tatters, military in tatters, economy in tatters. So no doubt about it, what Trump is going to do, the way he's going to spin this is he's going to say that when he was involved, Ukraine was winning. The minute he decided to pull away, Ukraine lost. That's what he's going to do. I think it's clear. And even the likes of KALLAS is starting to understand that. She's crying. He promised that he would resolve the conflict in Ukraine. He promised that he would support NATO and he would support the European Union. He promised. Trump promised. KALLAS is saying she's crying. He promised. He promised nothing. KALLAS, he promised nothing. But it's an interesting admission from the European Union, an admission from KALLAS and everyone in the collective West that they are very much involved in the conflict in Ukraine, right? They're all involved in the conflict in Ukraine. They're all admitting that they're involved in the conflict in Ukraine, and they're all admitting that they're losing. When you read all their statements and you go through everything that Trump said in his Truth Social post, that KALLAS is saying, that Donald Tusk is saying, that Mark Rutte is saying, that Ursula is saying, they're all admitting that they are losing. So, I mean, there you go. There you have it. Anyway, let's move on now. And in the United States, the Trump DOJ, they are going after Comey. That's right. Comey is being indicted, I believe, for lying to Congress and obstruction of justice. I think that's what they're getting Comey on. Comey, he put out a video statement, and he didn't seem too bothered. I mean, he said, "Let's go to court." He said, "Let's go to court," and he said, "I'm not afraid." But who knows? Maybe he is afraid. Most likely, nothing's going to happen to him. That would be my guess. Trump posted on Truth Social addressing Pam Bondi a couple of days ago, pretty much telling Pam Bondi to go after like Comey and Brennan and all of these guys. So that's not going to help the DOJ's case against Comey. No doubt Comey's going to use that in his defense, right? Saying that the president is making this a witch hunt after me. He's going after me, right? This has nothing to do with the law. He just wants to go after me personally. He has a personal grudge. So he's going to use that Truth Social post in his favor. But still, you know, at least you have them going after Comey, who did terrible things. Comey did terrible things. He absolutely lied and pushed the whole Russiagate narrative, which was just complete nonsense. Complete stupidity and nonsense, and was a terrible thing that happened. Russiagate was a terrible thing for the United States and for the world. Russiagate, in a way, brought us to where we are today with the tension and the escalation between the United States and Russia. A lot of it comes from Russiagate and the Russophobia created from Russiagate. So yeah, Comey is terrible things that he did, but most likely nothing's going to happen. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how all of this moves along. Should I get to a clown world? Or do I have any more things to talk about? Pistorius, the German defense minister, he is asking for 35 billion so he can build a German military space force, right? He wants to get 35 billion so he can invest it in German military activities in space. And so in order to convince the German public that 35 billion needs to be allocated to the German military for space projects and space initiatives, Pistorius came up with quite a whopper, where he said that the Russian military is shadowing German satellites. That's what Pistorius said yesterday. So on the same day that he asks for 35 billion for his little space projects, he comes out with a statement saying that Russia is messing around with German satellites. They're shadowing, he said, German satellites. It's all a grift, man. It's all a freaking grift, man. The whole thing. It's all a grift. And they use Russia. They use Russophobia because it works. It gets people all scared. And then they get the money allocated to whatever little projects or big projects that they have in mind, and there you have it. And the washing machine, it spins and spins and spins, man. The Prime Minister of Denmark is doing the same thing. What do you think this drone stuff is all about? The Prime Minister of Denmark came out yesterday with a statement, and she said that we're undergoing a hybrid attack. She didn't specifically name Russia, but she's saying Denmark is undergoing a hybrid attack, a drone hybrid attack. And we need money for our European defense. We need bigger budgets for our European defense, right? She's letting the media say that it's Russia. She's not saying it's Russia, but she's letting the media say that it's Russia that's behind all of this drone stupidity, right? That drones that appear, and then the minute the military goes to the side of where the drones are, they vanish. They appear, and then when the military shows up, they vanish. It's really odd. It's really weird. Funny how that works, huh? I think there was another drone sighting yesterday as well. Okay, so another drone sighting. Out comes the Prime Minister of Denmark. She says we need more money for our military because we're undergoing drone attacks. There you have it. The media is saying it's Russia, so they're going to pour more money into the pockets of the MIC. Right? That's how it works, man. That is how it works. Russophobia. It gets the washing machines spinning. So let's do a clown world and we can wrap this video up. So Trump and Erdogan, a journalist, as they were sitting in the Oval Office and they were taking questions from journalists, one journalist asked Trump about Pashinyan and Aliyev, Azerbaijan and Armenia, the leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia. And Trump looked at the journalist and he said, where? What? Where? I think he actually said where. Yeah, he said who, where? He said who, where? And the journalist is like, Azerbaijan, Aliyev, Pashinyan. And Trump was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Next question.
You met with Aliyev and Pashinyan. Can you follow up
So
on...
where?
You met with Aliyev and Pashinyan, Azerbaijan President Aliyev and Pashinyan. Can you follow up on what you want to say about current process?
No, I can't.
It's the journalist's fault. It's the journalist's fault. She should have said Cambodia and Albania. Azerbaijan, Cambodia, and Albania. Oh, yeah, that conflict that I helped resolve. Yeah, I helped resolve that conflict. Funny exchange there. And one more clown world. We'll stay with the UN. And there was a video that was posted on Ukraine media channels. And allegedly, I say allegedly, because I can't confirm this obviously, but allegedly AI was used so that it looked like there was a full crowd listening to Zelensky when he gave his address to the General Assembly. So I reported yesterday that when Zelensky was speaking to the General Assembly, no one showed up. It was empty, right? That's a fact. That is a fact. But you ended up getting videos circulating on Ukraine media which showed a very full auditorium as Zelensky was speaking. And there are many accounts, accurately, I think they're saying that this looks like it was AI. Now, I don't know if this was done by Ukraine media, maybe it was done by Russian media to troll Zelensky. I don't know. I don't know who came up with these videos. So that's the part that I don't know. But obviously, it looks like, I mean, there's a full crowd listening to Zelensky in these videos that are circulating. I just don't know where this video originated. I don't know who put this video together. Was it Ukraine that put it together in order to make Zelensky look good? Was it Russia that put it together in order to mock Zelensky? I don't know. I have no idea where this video originated, but it's funny because Zelensky was speaking to an empty auditorium, and now you have Zelensky speaking to a full auditorium courtesy of AI. Someone asked Grok about this story, and Grok said, based on fact checks and news reports from sources like AFP, Anilab, and UN broadcasts, the hall was indeed sparsely attended for Zelensky September 24, 2025 UN speech. However, there's no credible evidence Ukrainian media used AI to add an audience. The manipulated video appears to originate from social media. similar to debunked 2023 claims. So basically what Grok is saying is what I just said. It does look like Zelensky did speak to an empty auditorium, and the video has appeared on social media, but we don't know where it originated from. We don't know where it came from, who put together this AI video of Zelensky speaking to a packed auditorium. Anyway, that's the clown world. Oh man, I'm wrapping up this video for this Friday. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. Check out the Duran shop. Check us out on X and on Rumble and Telegram. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Take care.